Eric Raider has become quite good too. 8 defense. Wow. Yeah, manpower is getting... Well, no, manpower is so low because... Actually, these are all exiles. That's not my manpower. I'm gonna let it just tick up for a bit. If it will. There's India. I wonder if India would respawn with all its national focuses and national spirits or not. Alright, so you are basically back in business. Dempsey is still a very good commander. He's still one of my best defensive commanders. So I think what I might do is send Dempsey down to defend the crossing here. I might actually let you get some more infantry units. Let's go and train up your infantry. Hang on. Infantry divisions, yeah, they are still kind of rubbish. Let's bring in artillery. Infantry. Logistics. Reduces your supply usage. I'm not sure that logistics is the way I want to go with you. What would the alternative be? Support AT, I think. Yeah, we'll give you, like, support AT. Because what I'm thinking is if I train a bunch of infantry and just have my regular hardcore infantry guarding the crossing with Dempsey in command, it'd be just like... Come at me, bro. Alright, let's also change manpower law then, I guess. And the reason I was hovering over India there is like, I could totally make you a puppet again and then just start recruiting your troops. If it changed their focuses, or their spirit. If it didn't, then that would be pointless. Also, this should be getting us a lot of experience fighting in Sicily. Theoretically. Meanwhile, what is America doing? I'm seeing America doing a whole lot of nothing still. I really don't think they're doing anything. I mean, it would make sense if American armies were here defending the Soviets, but I don't think they're doing that either. The Soviets are still fighting on, though. They haven't given up yet. Unfortunately, the Soviets have a single ship with which to receive Lend-Lease, so that is not going to be feasible.
Ready to move. Ready.
A couple of these units should be in this army.
Ready to move.
And Ferrero's no longer... Well, actually, no, you still have the mechanized bonus, don't you? But didn't I have somebody even better with mechanized than something else? Maybe not. Yeah, combined arms and mechanized. No, Ferrero's the best because he's just got that ridiculous defensive skill. And not bad attack. He's just slow at planning, but Manpower broke, reload. It's not broken. It's mobilization. Manpower doesn't just tick up anymore, it ticks up slowly. Which is why it keeps flickering. It's going up and then immediately being sent out. Probably to these guys. Also, can I just say, look at these glorious Lancasters. Aren't they beautiful? Just a huge wave of heavy bombers. Oh, we have technology. Ah, we can get another mobile doctrine. Yep, let's get another 15 organization. That's probably a good idea. Oh, we don't have... Whoops. Yeah, we could probably do with resource extraction. Jets might be useful. Well... Okay, we can probably tone down the number of air... Well, no, we can't tone down the... Actually, yes, we can. Let's go and expand this again. I think I want to expand the number of heavy bombers we're producing. Problem is, complete lack of steel. I'm using 300 steel on that. Come on, America, develop your steel fields more. I need more. More! More! Drodin, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Right, we get rubber and iron from here. I should probably upgrade that. Still sinking convoys. It's going to be chromium. How am I doing on chromium supplies? Fine. Because I'm not using heavy tanks. 7 more destroyers. Speaking of destroyers, how are we doing for trained ships? We have an Earl Grey, a battleship. No, battle cruiser. That's definitely gonna go into the Pacific reserves. We have an Earl Grey, fully trained. Madagascar from Vichy, France. Ooh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, once I've got something to defend Sicily with, probably Cold Rage. Then we'll do that.
Ready to move! Ready!
In fact,
Ready!
you, and you would actually be better in this army. Because you are mechanized and you'd be under the mechanized commander. Mechanized exiles under the mechanized exile commander, while you are just infantry. So these guys are probably the ones that I will stick in Sicily. The question is, are you going to be enough? In the short term? Maybe. How are we doing for artillery? Okay, we have a surplus of artillery. It is literally just mechanized now. Medium tanks we've almost caught up. Then once we've got those, that's when we can really start to churn out troops, then maybe open a proper front somewhere. Because right now, the Marines are just having a whale of a time holding on to this. Does Madagascar have resources? I was more wondering about whether they'd use it as a submarine base. They have rubber. We don't really need rubber. Rubber is like the resource I have billions of. And tungsten, apparently. Is it time to call the Turks in? No, this would be an awful time. Well, would it? Turkey would be fighting a war on two fronts. And the problem is if Turkey falls, then Africa falls. Because that gives them access to the whole of Africa. Turkey being neutral right now is a really good thing. Because via legionary Romania they can get in through the Caucasus. Sure, we would fight them in the mountains and it would be one brutal slog. I don't have mountaineer divisions, however. And I don't have any infantry divisions that I can really give to them yet. I will eventually, but I don't yet. What if Turkey flips the Axis? If they haven't already in 1946, I kind of doubt they will. Especially as Germany's on continuous focuses now. Although I can certainly try and flip them to our side, because they are going very fascist. Which is a potential problem. So we can do that, and that's a worthy choice. Okay, so my Indian divisions down here are now reinforced. Oh, that's where my manpower was going too. They were reinforcing all of the pretty much dead Indian forces.
Ready to move.
Who are now at full strength. Albeit no training. Because they're all newbies. How's Siam doing? Siam is, I would say, in no danger of flipping anytime soon. I'm actually going to cancel that boost popularity. I can't see them accepting an offer to join. What are we doing for submarines? Okay-ish. And there's the other Earl Grey, the HMS Resistance. That's a cool name. We've got the HMS Manchester. I do think that going after Japan is the right choice. Japan has loads of steel. It's also an island, which means it's basically immune to German counterattack. Because the Royal Navy is the one thing which is held strong. It's just made my Marines even stronger. 49 organisation. That's before we get the organisation bonuses from the Doctrine. Of course I am. I could, but that would open up all of this front. That's a bad idea. Like, I need to be choosing my battles very carefully. That's not one that we should do. Just calling people in because it's new people opens up more frontage, which I have to cover. I'm sorry if that seems slow to you, but this is now a war of attrition. Slow but steady wins the race. And how are the strategic bombers doing? We could probably be prioritizing those a little bit better. Especially as we do have rather a few fighters now. So let's reduce you and increase the number of those. Let's do that. Cool. Joshua, thank you very much for the bits. Bits. Just make Germany democratic. How have the US lost that many troops while doing so little? I have no idea. That is one of the great mysteries of this game. Apparently they've been fighting Japan, Spain and Italy. That's just naval invasions. That's completely doomed naval invasions. So they've lost 900 against Japan. They've killed... Actually, they've killed 1.3 million. Oh, that's on the Chinese border. So yeah, that's one of the legit places where they've actually been fighting. Against nationalist Spain, 900,000. They've killed 200,000 Spaniards. That's stupid naval invasions. Against Italy, almost 900,000. They've killed 250,000. Again, stupid naval invasions. And they've lost 250 against Germany. I don't think they even rank in the top 5 casualty causes against the Germans. Like, the Netherlands has killed 29,000 Germans. The US has done less than that. And yeah, maybe starvation from poor supply in the US, because look how many troops they have here. They would be almost impossible to invade. Because as soon as they lose one tile, then all of them are just going to go whoop and cover that one spot. Spain probably lost 2 million fighting against Russia. Yeah. Russia's killed... Sorry. 2.3 million Soviets have been killed by Spain. They're the 4th largest contributor. And the Soviets killed 1.2 and I killed 400,000. Probably at sea and in the air. Speaking of in the air, we could start trying to fight for air power over this. But I don't think that's a very good idea. We could also start fighting harder for Italian airspace. Which probably is a good plan. No, you stay at 300 because you're the one guarding the army. And you're doing anti-bomber. You're actually getting more experience than these guys. What was that? What are they using here? 6,000 fighters! Alright, there's one hell of an aerial battle going on right now. Okay, so maybe this should go up to 1,000. And yeah, I do need to go after these, if only for the air bases. Alright. We can do that.
Orders!
You are trained. Congratulations. Alright, so you are going to make your way to Palermo. You're going that way. I think I'm going to mark these as now safe. Watch as they all die. Oops, it's still going that way. Why? Oh, because I don't own Gibraltar. Alright, going for Gibraltar might be another good option, because then I actually have access to the Mediterranean. Because now I'm having to land here, and then go by land, and then sea again. Meanwhile, the Dutch have built up some fairly large fortifications. And also the Dutch have actually seized control of Indonesia. It's no longer Netherlands, Indonesia. It's not a colony, they've annexed it in the same way that I did to the Raj and to Malaysia. Recon. When they get Gibraltar swarmed through Spain? Probably. Which is why I'll need to be very careful on how I hold it. I mean, actually going for Gibraltar probably should wait until I've got my mechanized forces up and running.
Ready!
These guys. Actually, you guys are almost equipped. We're only 2,000 short now. And once that 2,000's done, I can start recruiting those units. And that's when my army is going to start taking off. Because that's what I've been waiting for. Spain have steel? Spain does have steel. Oh, Spain's worth fighting for. And that would also resurrect Portugal, which would allow the Portuguese to guard this area. And it would also mean that we're not being bombed over here anymore, because that is clearly a big problem. I don't think there is any way of us saving the Soviets, although I have to say the Soviets have really ratcheted up their defense since I left. We're losing a lot of convoys to those subs. Whose subs are they? German. Iberian coast. I am escorting it, but there's a lot of ships coming through there. Okay. We will expand our recon to encompass it. We'll go hunt down some ships. And actually, how are we doing for trained ships? Resistance is still in training. We do have a couple more destroyers who can join. Ooh, Mediterranean fleet's actually at almost full strength. I guess you're going to go to the Pacific in that case. Oh, and we lost a submarine task force. Right, the other thing was, I did notice that you two don't seem to be doing very much. You're on recon. You're not. And you're on port strike. Okay. So we are cycling around. Alright, now the Americans have arrived in force over here. The problem is, I don't trust them to stay. Typhoon, that's a close combat. Here we are, we're trying to chase down their submarines now. 100% screen, 58% screen. Decent enough. Trying to naval invade again. And we're going to get the Tempest. Did we get everything built up in Sicily yet? No. It's taken a while. Especially the defences. Well, that's because every time they attack that one province, construction stops. But every time we do get a little more construction done, it gets harder to take.
Ready.
Yeah, these guys are running away. Struggling to find them. Ooh, 12 destroyers sunk. That was nicely done. That was probably a convoy escort. You guys arrived there. Good. Lost 2 transports clearly. What? Oh, whoops, that was my bad. Don't do that. Oops.
Move out.
There we go.
Move out.
Take the train! It's much faster. And I also feel like we have sufficient convoys at this point. So let's reduce you to 1. Let's reduce you to 1. That does mean that I now have surplus dockyards. But frankly, I don't have the steel for them to actually do anything, so they're just going to sit here doing nothing. Unless, of course, I can buy in 247 from somewhere. Nope, didn't think so. Why am I only getting that little? Apparently I have low trade influence with the US. I'm like your foremost trade partner. Don't make me invade you. Mordred likes trains. Does that mean... Does that count as training troops? Export laws already on low, and I don't want to go to closed. Because my allies also rely on the stuff that I can export.
Move out! Yes, sir!
Are heavy cruisers worth it as they need so many screens? I don't think so. I mean, heavy cruisers are mostly useful because they're cheap capital ships, so for a smaller nation, yeah, probably. But for the big ones, no. May as well just build battle cruisers. Right, once these guys have arrived, I think I'm going to switch my North Africa Corps to give them the job of protecting Sicily as well. And then I'm going to back off with the Marines and have them do something else. Some of them will need a little bit of extra retraining, some of them are just fine. How are we doing with the mechanised? We're actually short on motorised. That's not good. Because I'm training a bunch of motorised units, and I also need those for the hospital units. Right, well I guess we're going to start building motorised again. No, we're not, because we have no steel.